Let's get a whiff. Smells okay. Get it onto the plate if we can. Hola Spain lovers, hola food lovers, Stuart here with another food review video. And if you didn't know it already, Spain is obsessed with a food here called tortilla de patatas, or Spanish omelette. Everyone here in Spain has an opinion on how it should be cooked, with onion, without onion, firm, runny. It's basically the national debate. So today I'm putting 3 Spanish omelettes to the test. First up, we've got the budget-friendly Mercadona supermarket version. Then I'll try the homemade style Palacios tortilla with free-range eggs and caramelized onion. And finally, the ultimate reference, a freshly made tortilla from my local Spanish bar. And the big question is, which one out of the 3 will come out on top? And most importantly, are they any good? Let's find out. First up today, we have the Mercadona supermarket, one of the biggest supermarkets here in Spain. Their home brand Spanish omelette tortilla with onion, of course. I'll talk about that debate in a moment, but we're going to open this one up, get it onto the plate, and see what the aromas coming out of this Spanish omelette are like. Let's see if I can open this one up. There we go. Let's get the plastic off, and let's get it onto the plate if I can. All right, there we go. On the plate is the omelette. Now, I'm going to run this through the food app Yuka and see what the quality is like. And as we can see here, not very good. 36 out of 100. Poor is the rating from Yuka. Let's see what's wrong. Well, it's got additives and it's got a bit too much salt or sodium in it. Protein is positive, saturates positive, sugar positive, and energy positive, but 36 out of 100. So not off to a good start as far as the quality is concerned, or what's in this, the ingredients that's in this Spanish omelette here. But it's all going to come down to the taste. Now what I'm going to do is cut this into what they call here a pincho, which is basically a quarter or a little bit less than a quarter of this omelette. Put it onto the plate here, plate it up. Now I'm going to go and heat this up in the microwave for around a minute or 2. Also come back with some bread and a glass of red wine, which is very important to wash this down. Back in a tick. So let's see what's going on here as far as this piece of omelette is concerned. The pincho de tortilla, which is a classic in the majority of bars and restaurants here in Spain. Virtually in every bar here in Spain, you'll be able to find this. It's a breakfast snack. It's a mid-morning snack. Very, very popular with the locals is the pincho de tortilla. So looking at the appearance, and I'm going to say it looks decent. It's not thick, but it's very uniform. It looks almost too perfect. And this is one of the most popular Spanish supermarket omelettes out there. And other people on YouTube that have tried this, reviewed this product, have given it a very, very high score. But as we saw, not very healthy. Let's see what the texture's like cutting into it. Seems a little bit dry. Not a lot of moisture going on in there, I don't think. But it's all going to come down to the taste test, right? So let's see. It's not bad. The potatoes are soft. You can taste the onion, that's for sure. And although it looks a little bit dry, there is some moisture going on in there. I'll see if you can see that there in the camera. But there's definitely some moisture going on. Now, they don't use fresh eggs when they make these omelettes. They use pasteurized eggs, of course, because if you use fresh eggs, there would be a health risk, a salmonella risk. And that's been a problem that some bars and restaurants have had in recent times. In fact, a couple of years ago, there was a place that shut down for weeks because of a salmonella infection in the eggs that they were using for their Spanish omelette. So that's why pasteurized eggs are the most common in this type of tortilla, at least. Obviously, if you are making it at home, you're going to be using fresh eggs. But bars, restaurants, industrial kitchens that make these types of Spanish omelette are going to be using the pasteurized eggs, of course. Now, this is something that you'll see a lot of people here in Spain doing. Piece of bread, a bit of tortilla, on top it goes, and down the hatch. So the first pincho done and dusted. And I'm going to be honest, it wasn't that bad, and I can see why this is a very, very popular supermarket tortilla here in Spain. But I'll give my final thoughts on the pincho at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Now, on to number 2. Okay, so Spanish omelette number 2, another pre-packaged version here. This is from the company Palacios, who are also famous for their small goods, for their chorizo, for their sausage products. And this is apparently a Spanish omelette that is following a home recipe. And we've got the caramelized onion. It doesn't have any color additives, and the egg quality is also supposed to be quite good. So I'm looking forward to trying this one here. Now, before I open it, I'm going to run it through the food app. I didn't do that before, so let me get my phone and check that. Let's open the Yuka app and find the barcode. Where is it? Here we go. And this one comes in at 69 out of 100, which is a good score according to the food app. Let's see exactly what's going on. The only negative is salt, a little bit too much sodium, 1.1 gram, but the protein, the fiber, the saturates, the sugar, the energy, and additives all get the green light, so thumbs up for that. I'll tell you guys the prices of all of the omelettes that I've tried today at the end of the video, but I'm going to say that this one was twice the price of the one from the Mercadona supermarket that I just tried. So double the price here. Let's see if it's double the quality. Let's get a whiff. Smells okay. Get it onto the plate if we can. What I will say about this one is that the colors seem good. I'll use the same plate to save washing up later. There we go. So that is what we're dealing with. Let's heat it up and put it to the test. Back in a minute. Okay, time to try Spanish omelette number 2, another pre-packaged Spanish omelette, of course. And the first thing I'm going to say is that this one looks a little bit more rustic than the first one that I tried. Just my opinion, of course, but it seems to be the case. Let's see what the moisture's like. Looks okay, but again, it's all going to come down to taste. Let's see. Again, not very thick, very uniform all over, all of the same dimensions, I reckon, and the flavors are good. Again, I've gone for an omelette with onion. That's my favorite type. There's a huge debate here in Spain with onion or without onion. As I mentioned before, preferably for me, always with onion. But I know people that don't like onion, so it can be a little bit difficult when you're out and about, or you go to the supermarket and somebody doesn't want onion and somebody does want onion. Arguments can develop. But in this one, as we saw before, we've got caramelized onions going on, and it does give the omelette that extra sweetness. And this one also, according to the packaging, has better quality eggs. And that, no doubt, is what you're paying for. Personally, I can't tell the difference, so I'm going to have to take the company's word for it. But if I were at a picnic or at somebody's home and they served me this tortilla, I'd be happy. Again, on top of a piece of bread. Seems to be a little bit drier than the first one that I had, and definitely sweeter because of those caramelized onions. That was decent. Spanish omelette number 2 done and dusted. Bring on number 3. Now, this is the one that I have been waiting for, and in theory should be the best one out of the 3. And looking at the colors, I reckon it will be, but it's all going to be in the taste test, of course. Let's get it onto the plate. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is that this one is extremely heavy. It comes with its own plate, but of course I'm going to put the pincho or the piece of omelette onto a separate plate. But the smell, nice, and it's also with onion, so I haven't varied with my choices today. The first one with onion, the second one with onion, and this one with onion. Not caramelized onion like the last one, just normal onion, but the smell coming off this is incredible. Can't wait to tuck in. And another thing that stands out about this particular omelette is the thickness. This, I would say, is double the thickness of the other 2 that I have tried, and hopefully it's going to be moist, although sticking the knife in, it doesn't seem to be all that moist. So I might not have a moist omelette on my hands here. Let's see. Look at the thickness. Wow. So let's get this pincho onto the same plate and get stuck into it. So let's get stuck into Spanish omelette number 3, and as I said, in theory this should be the best one of the 3. Now I've got a piece of one of the other ones on the plate as well, just to compare the thickness, and as we can see here, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but when it comes to thickness, this one here double at least the size of this one here. In fact, this piece here looks pretty pathetic on the plate next to the big fat Spanish omelette that I have here. Let's see what the moisture's like. All right, the important test, see how moist this one is. And I'm going to be honest, it looks a little bit dry. In theory, the ingredients should be the same, except for the additives that would have been in the first two omelettes that I tried. This one should be additive free. Let's see what the taste is like. So even though it is a little bit dry, it's very, very nice. And the appearance is what you would expect with this type of omelette, an omelette that has been made at the local bar. And basically, it's fresh. Now, I know what some people are saying, Stuart, why don't you make your own Spanish omelette? It's not that difficult, right? Well, the fact of the matter is that it is a little bit difficult to make and it is quite messy. So in my opinion, easier to buy one. But of course, if you've got the time, go for it. The ingredients are simple. Potatoes, eggs, oil, that's it. But this is the most authentic one so far, at least as far as taste is concerned. Try some more wine. That's a good combination. So I'm going to say that this has been the best one so far, albeit a little bit dry, but tasty nonetheless. Maybe a little bit too overdone on the outside, was left too long in the pan most likely. But apart from that, no complaints. Now, let's try it with some bread. And the final mouthful. And that's number 3 done. Time for my final thoughts. So, my final thoughts on the 3 Spanish omelettes that I have tried today, starting with the Mercadona Spanish omelette, the home brand, the Hacendado brand, very, very popular. And as I said, other people on YouTube have given that particular omelette high scores, at least compared with other supermarket brand Spanish omelettes, that is. When it comes to appearance, that omelette was fairly stock standard, what you would expect in a supermarket omelette, I reckon. We saw how thick it was, or should I say how thin it was, but the flavors were okay, no complaints as far as flavor is concerned with that omelette. The texture was good. I thought it was going to be a little bit dry, but once I got into the middle of the omelette, it was moist. And that is the way I like my Spanish omelettes, with a little bit of moisture on the inside. When it comes to the price, by far the cheapest of the 3, €2.60. But as we saw with the Yuca app, it's not the healthiest of Spanish omelettes out there. So price-quality ratio, I'm going to give it a 6.8 out of 10. Next up was the Palacios home-style recipe Spanish omelette with caramelized onions and free-range eggs. Again, no complaints, and it was healthier than the Mercadona omelette, so that's something in its favor. The flavors were good. It was a little bit sweeter than the first one because of the caramelized onion, of course, and the texture also was good, and it was moist, just the way I like my omelettes. The appearance was what you would expect in a supermarket omelette, and the price a little bit expensive in my opinion, €5.15, so almost double the price of the first one. But again, they're going for that premium quality, I think, with those free-range eggs and also the homemade style that they are claiming it to be. So yeah, my rating, 7 out of 10. And the final thing that I ate today, the freshly made Spanish omelette that I picked up from my local bar. It had just come out of the pan when I got to the bar to pick it up, so believe me, it was fresh and it was warm. And without a doubt, it was the best quality product that I ate today. You saw how thick it was, so plenty of ingredients in it. But if I had one complaint, it would be that it was a little bit too dry for my liking, a little bit overcooked, if that makes sense. But it was the best, and it was also the most expensive, coming in at a whopping €10. So double the price of the second omelette that I ate and more than 3 times the price of the first one. But again, in terms of quality, it was far superior, 8 out of 10. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Are you a fan of the humble Spanish omelette? Let me know in that comment section below. Do you make them yourselves? Do you go to the local bar and eat them there? Or do you go to the supermarket and buy the ones in the packets? Let me know in the comment section below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video when I publish it. Until the next one, hasta luego and buen provecho from Madrid.